Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank, you are listening, caring partner.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. If you've always wanted to own land or dreamt about owning land, then this is the show that you must watch. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. And our guests are Phyllis and Peter Tole from Land Layby, Kenya Limited. You have a very interesting concept. Tell us about it. Perhaps we can start with you, Phyllis.
Our company name, Land Layby, means you want to be able to afford something. Let's say an expensive suit. You walk to a shop and you want to buy a suit. But the problem is you can't afford to buy it upfront. So what normally happens is you leave a deposit with the seller. The seller removes the suit off the shelf, keeps it for you. You agree a certain period of time frame when you're coming back with the rest of the money and the suit will be yours. That's the concept of lay-by. So we're trying to introduce that concept to land.
And perhaps, Peter, you can tell us what inspired the idea.
Personally, I live in Australia. I've lived in Australia for the last 9 years. I work in Australia as a doctor. And whilst we talked to a number of our friends, we realized that most of them were losing money through dishonest land dealers, through their families. And we thought, okay, there is a need here. There's a lot of money moving from diaspora to Kenya, but it's going to the wrong hands and it's not fulfilling the purposes it was meant to fulfill. We thought, well, we could come up with this concept and help Kenyans who are in diaspora and even Kenyans in Kenya who wants to buy authentic land products. Yeah, so we fit in and help them.
What I find interesting is you're an auditor, he's a doctor, but then you're coming into a totally different field, so to say.
When I was training as a doctor, I had a liking for shares. What I would do, I would buy shares, keep them, sell them off at a profit. So I loved doing that. And when I went to Australia, I continued to do the same thing. And then I progressed a little bit further. I started trading options, share options, and which are derivatives. And then realized, actually, options can be used to buy land. And this is what then inspired me to do it. So this concept is what we're bringing to Kenya. We're enabling you, with your 10,000 per month, to control a block of land that is valued 395,000. And better still, if in 2 years' time you come back to us, you want to pay us the balance, and the block of land has appreciated by, say, 200,000, that is your money because you got into a contract with us to lock in the price at 395, and if it appreciates, that's your money.
Where are you buying this land? Where is it?
Markets have sub-markets. We have to be very careful if we tell you Isinya is a hotspot. You might find within Isinya there could be one area that is not a hotspot. And you might say, all right, we went to Land Layby and they said we go to Isinya and it didn't offer the returns that they were promising. So you have to be wary of that. Yeah, and that's where we come in. We do our research. Some of our research involves networking, knowing what is happening where. Yeah, and that's what normally drives the value of land up.
So besides Isinya, where else can we purchase land from you?
We do have Namanga. Namanga is also, the portion of land that we have is also in the pre-developed stage, but it has a lot of interesting infrastructure that is coming up. And so that places it on a very, very high ranking. And we're offering that for $299 for an eighth. But to secure it, you need to pay a deposit of $80,000. But again, you don't have to pay it as a lump sum.
I can pay my deposit in installments.
Exactly. That's what we're just trying to encourage Kenyans to have, a saving culture. You can do it and plan on the cash flow. And so, for instance, 8,000, people can be able to acquire this land hassle-free. You just discipline your mind and know 8,000 is not yours in your budget, the home. And henceforth, after you finish the 80,000, you can now plan ahead. By March 2017 is when we'll need the 219,000 that will be remaining of the balance. And then you'll get the title and the land will be yours. And definitely because of where the land is placed, there's equity, there'll be equity on it. It will not be worth 299, it will be well in the 600 bracket. Because of where we are placed, there's a road that's going to be tarmacked next year.
Besides just a deposit, which is an excellent concept, what else makes you different?
What makes us different is because we are offering equity to anybody who buys our land. Most companies will sell land at market value. For us, we are not. So we lock in a purchase price, and it's a guarantee by the time you finish buying the land from us, there'll definitely be equity on it. Most people would actually wait, buy big pieces of land and actually sit on it for 3, 4 years or 5 years, wait for all the developments to pick up, then subdivide and sell at that particular point at market value. For us, we're not doing that. We're doing it at project inception. And we want the buyers to benefit from us.
We're also different in the sense that our products can be assigned to a third party. For instance, if you lose interest, and your brother or your sister or a close friend of yours wants to purchase that product from you, they could actually do so, and you can transfer that product to them at any price dictated by the forces of supply and demand. If you bought that product from us at 100,000 and values have actually improved, you can sell it for 200, for 150, for 170. We will only charge you 5% transaction commission fee because we will have to change the document, transfer to the other person.
It seems that you really truly are revolutionizing the way we think about land and the way we want to buy land. But we'll talk about it more after this break. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Don't go away.
Going back to school is easy and convenient with Equity Bank. You can get a banker's check for 100 shillings. Deposit school fees at any Equity Bank branch or Equity agent for free if the school, college or university has an account with Equity Bank. What's more, you don't have to be an Equity Bank customer to benefit. Visit any Equity Bank branch or Equity agent today to pay your school fees conveniently. Equity Bank, your back-to-school bank.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Our guests are Phyllis and Peter Tole of Land Layby, Kenya Limited. Really very interesting concept that you are introducing into our country. You were telling us about the many differences between you and other land buying agents, yeah? Perhaps you can continue with where we stopped.
The reason we are different is we let you buy now and pay tomorrow, and we don't charge you any interest. That makes the product quite affordable. There's so many Kenyans who would want to own land, but they can't, because if they go to a bank, the bank will tell them, look, we can't finance bare land. You go buy land and we'll finance you to construct. Secondly, some people have bad credit ratings. We don't look at that. We give everyone an opportunity. You only need to have an aspiration to own land, and you will own it with us.
I'm curious, how do you make money?
If we buy just before the exponential phase, then in 7 years' time we'll make 700% return on investment. That's 100% every year. The way my father-in-law sells land is, he would go buy land, say 100 acres, he would sit on it for 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, and he will actually let it appreciate. he makes sure he buys in the band. So he buys in the band, sits on it for 4, 5, 6 years, and then subdivides it and sells it off. So he
Speculatively, that's what
yes,
we do.
precisely. And he takes all the profit for himself. We do it differently though. When we identify a hotspot, we go, we purchase. Sometimes we partner with the sellers, and then we sell it off immediately, all right? But we don't sell it at the maximum value. We sell it probably somewhere in between the maximum and the minimum value, such that when you purchase our products, we'll let you enjoy the ride up as well. So we share equity. It's a win-win transaction for the buyer as well as for the company. Now, because we are doing volumes, it doesn't matter whether we make 20 shillings per transaction. If we have 1 million people buying our products, that's huge money, isn't it? So we thrive on volumes. We know our product is quite popular now because it's quite affordable. How many people in Kenya can afford 10,000 every month? How many people in Kenya can afford 500,000, one of 500,000? Yeah. So you can see the difference, and that's how we make money. Yeah.
Why do you care that we should own land?
For us, having lived in diaspora for a while, we did notice the standard of living. Like for instance, in Australia is very different. You can really notice who's the haves and have-nots. That means the rich and the poor. You can't really tell. On the streets, you can't. And because of that, there's a lot of peace. There's a lot of, the crime is very minimal. And so you can live in peace. But having come from Kenya and realizing the crime, how the crime is and was, and the gap between the rich and the poor is very hefty. So this is one of the reasons we thought, how can we bridge that gap between the rich and the poor, such that there's a bit of social harmony between the two, the haves and the have-nots. And so we thought that's one of the ways we'd contribute back to our Kenyan economy.
What we've been talking about has been Chanuka. Perhaps you can explain to us what that means.
Chanuka is one of our products that gives our clients leverage in the sense that with 8,000 shillings every month for 10 months, they can control a block of land valued at 299. Our clients get in while we process individual titles. So with Chanuka, what we're trying to say is the titles are not ready, the individual titles are not ready. They'll be ready when you're paying up your balance in 2017. But if you wait until the titles are ready, then the price is not going to be 299, it's probably going to be even more higher. We're offering people an opportunity to get in while we're still in the process of making the final product. So we have other products too, like all our Chanukas will finally become Hazina. Yeah, so with Hazina, we have secured individual titles. We've gone through the whole process, yeah, and have secured individual titles for the blocks of land. But they're not going to be cheap because we've gone through the whole process. If you didn't have time to Chanuka, an opportunity to Chanuka with us while we were doing the process, then you can only Hazina with us now. What Hazina means is we have the titles that are ready, but we can't give you 2 years payment plan. We only give you 6 months payment plan, where you have to pay the whole purchase price in 6 months. But having said that, we're still beating our competitors in that our pricing is below what other people are selling at. For instance, in Kisaju, we're selling 1/8 of an acre for 500,000, whereas others I think are selling for 650 or 700 for the same 750, yeah, for the same block of land. And it's a different area again. Remember I talked about markets, having sub-markets. In Kisaju too, we have another area where we're selling at 700,000. Our competitors are selling at around 950. We are still competitive. It's a bit dearer than Chanuka, but still very competitive.
Besides Kitengela, Isinya, and Namanga, what other areas are you considering for the future?
We do a lot of research. We just don't get into areas. And there are a number of areas we have identified at the moment. We'll be going to Nakuru. We are going to Nanyuki, and we've gotten a lot of interest in Western, a lot of interest in coastal region. We will venture into that, but after we have done our due diligence and done our research. So because we want to offer our clients equity on completion. We just don't want to sell you a product and at the end of the 2 years, you've only made 1 shilling out of it or 2 shillings one of it.
That is an amazing story. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Peter.
My pleasure.
Really, truly, you are revolutionizing the way we're thinking about purchasing our lands. Because you've come, you've seen, and you've identified a challenge, and you want to make a difference out of it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Thank you for your
Thanks
story.
for having us.
Yeah.
And we are hoping that with our product, we'll be able to help the leadership of the country to attain the Vision 2030, economic and social.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.